week, and it's really interesting talking to this lady. She did a really good story on us. I was kind of happy about that. Sinful says, "Good day and evening to all. How you guys doing?" Let's see who else we got on here. 5 people up here so far, but we're earlier on here a little bit, earlier than usual. Let's see here. Yeah, so we've been doing that, and we've been trying to cover some different subjects this past month, as we always do. We try to have our own little twist to things, and it kind of makes it a little bit more fun. But so how you doing, Rich? Michael? Let's see, we're up to 6 so far. Let's get some more people on here and get some questions on here. Um, but yeah, I was really happy about the story that they did. Dickie Spaz is on here. He says, "Hello, everyone," and we we've been getting like we actually got a thing from Scanners, like a little plaque too, which I thought was kind of nice. John here says, "Hi Steve, how you doing, John? Good to see you on here." Pennsylvania Truck is on board, 8 so far. Let's see, Pennsylvania Truck, you're a new one on here, I guess, and John here too. So we have two new people. Welcome aboard, guys. Good to see some new people on here. Scott Ferris, good morning. Let's see, who else we got on here? It should be interesting. I wish we could get the girl that did the story on here. She's a really interesting lady. She lives up in Manila, but she does work for the Singapore Strait Times. Mark Schaefer says, "Good morning, Steve. How you doing?" Mark, we got 16 people on board, so if you guys want to start shooting questions or talk about anything, we can talk about anything. We'll talk. The subject's open, so anything but politics as usual, guys. I'm a little bit tired today, so I'm not my usual self today. We went over to Alabang today, and it was like a long trip going over there in traffic and stuff, so we're all like bushed. But see, Robert McKnight, good morning from Michigan, 15 degrees. I don't know if I could live with that anymore. Marlene Pineda, good morning, watching you from Maryland. How you doing, Marlene? I think I just saw your thing. I was just looking. Are you the lady that was in the Air Force? I think I was just looking at your I think you friended me. Let's see. Michael L. Mara Cepeda used to report for Rappler. That's interesting. She's a good reporter though. When I was talking to her, she's a very nice lady too. John here, not new, Steve, listening for 3 years. Okay. I didn't see your name for a while, I don't think, or it doesn't look that familiar. But I can't remember everybody. My memory is like, I see so many names now. But it's good we're getting some new people on here. And Sinful says, "Let's hit the thumbs up, folks. Thanks." 28 people on here, 8 thumbs up. Let's get some questions rolling on here and get a subject rolling. Anything you guys want to talk about? Big Time 911 says, "Annapolis, Maryland. How are you doing, Steve?" I'm doing great, Big Time 911. Faye Peter Allison, here we go. She's on here. Good morning, Steve, your local friend here. Ha ha ha. Faye's a cool person. She lives up near Manila somewhere. For any of you single guys, she's single too, so she's really a nice woman. Mark Schaefer, Steve, I've noticed that you've done some investing. Have you ever thought about investing in the Philippine stock market? No, I have not. I don't think I would. I don't know it well enough. It would take me a while to learn it. I like dealing with the U.S. stock market, and I'm not sure I want to deal with the stock market right now with everything that's going on. Scott Ferris says, "How much should I budget for my food and transportation on my vacation?" You know, everybody asks me that question, Scott, and it's a tough question to answer because of the fact that I don't know what kind of hotels you're going to stay in. I don't know if you're going to be staying at resorts. I don't know if you're going to be traveling around. You know, it's really something that you kind of have to figure out. I can't really answer a question like that. I mean, if you were living here, you wanted a budget or something like that, I could give you something to work with. But I mean, asking a question like that is kind of difficult. Marlene Pineda, yes, but retired now, but still working. I'm also disabled vet. Marlene, are you coming back to the Philippines to live, or are you planning on coming back here? Faye Peter Elson, oh haha, it's evening here now in our country, Philippines. Grow Things to Eat says, "I was told that it's not necessary to have a return ticket when traveling to the Philippines. He said they are very lax about that. What do you think?" You know something? I mean, I've heard people that have gotten asked for it, and I've heard a lot of people don't. But here's why. Because it's supposedly up to the airlines. Okay? So that's who it's being left up to, I guess. And some of the airlines don't really pay much attention to it, and others do. So you don't want to get to the airport or get here and then they ask you for that ticket. But people have been asked for it. So, but I mean, what's a what's a ticket to Singapore as a throwaway ticket? You know what I mean? Just to be safe. Charles Merrill says, thanks, Steve, for the info on scanners. You're welcome, man. Michael L says, only invest in U.S., Europe, Japan, or SG stock market. I agree, Michael. Robert McKnight says, what bank would I use in USA so I can transfer funds to the Philippines easily? State Department Federal Credit Union. That's what I would say. I would say stick with a credit union because credit unions are different. They have different laws and they just work out better. You know, I would definitely just deal with that, you know. Let me see here. Lightning 351 says, good morning, Steve. George, South Florida. Will you ever buy a home there to leave to your girlfriend? Also, you never get together with any of the other vloggers? No, I don't. I have a group that I take care of here. I have 150 to 200 members. Actually, I was counting today. We're almost up to around 200. And I have enough to take care of that than to meet other vloggers. I've talked to some of the other vloggers. I get along with most of the other vloggers. We talk on occasion. I think, you know, I mean, but we're, you know, I'm not best friends with them, and you know, but we are friends. You know, we do talk on occasion. I have nothing against them. I hope they have nothing against me. You know, we all have our different things, and I'm just too busy to do that. Grow Things to Eat says, any particular airlines you recommend for traveling to the Philippines? You know, if you really want cheap tickets, I would go like China Air or something like that. But I wouldn't fly them anymore after I flew them. They were really awful. But it is cheap. But Philippine Airlines is okay. United Airlines, you know, any one of those is decent. You know, they're okay. But United is better than China Air. I can tell you that the Chinese airlines are good for cheap tickets. The other ones are a little bit more expensive, but you get what you pay for. You know, when you travel and you want to be comfortable and have good food. Faye Peter Allison says, yes, Steve, single here and happy, helping my sister in her shrimp farm in Mindoro. There you go. That sounds like fun. Sinful says, Scott Ferris, I always prepay all my hotels for a trip. So food and amenities will be up to your level of comfort and wants while vacation. That's a good idea too, is to pay all your hotels, and then you know what you need for food and stuff like that pretty much, you know. Let's see, Marlene Pineda says, not sure, can't decide when to fully retire. Pennsylvania Trucker says, Robert McKnight, I hear there is a Wells Fargo bank in Manila. Yes, there is. Grow Things to Eat says, thanks for the answer. You're welcome. See, Edward Pierenboom says, hi, Steve. Anywhere I can look for that medicine I can get in PI minor issue with heart. You know, a lot of people ask me about pharmaceuticals here, and you really have to go look at like Watson's or Mercury Drug online and see what they have on there, and it tells you on there what they have in the store if you go onto their websites. I don't know on hand what they have, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, we talk mostly expat stuff. Medicines are not one of the things that I can. And a lot of people have been asking me that lately because I've been dealing with some medicines and stuff like that. But I just don't know about heart medicines. I'm sorry. I wish I could answer that one. Jeeves Winston, hey Steve, that was a great article. Keep up the good work. Gonna need you in a couple of short years. No problem. Sun Moon says, good evening, Steve, from Taliban, Bohol. Big Time 911 says Navy Federal is the best. Navy Federal is also another good one. Yes, they are, because that is a credit union. I use Metropolitan Credit Union up in Chelsea, Massachusetts, and they're excellent too. Sinful says, Robert McKnight, I transferred my USAA to BDO with no issues. Let's see here. Jeeves Winston met with retirement 34 months to go. That's good news. That's not that far. Do a countdown clock now. Let's see. Michael L says JAL business class. I mean, if I could afford business class, I'd go business class, but that's something out of my league a little bit. I don't want to spend that kind of money for, you know, almost double or triple sometimes what a regular ticket is. Tom and Jerry in the Philippines. Good evening, Steve. I enjoyed your video on soul ties other night. Was curious if you had that connection with your current girlfriend and if anyone else experienced it with their Filipina. I'm sure many have, Tom. You know, I mean, I think all of us have kind of had soul ties at one time or another. I think that's kind of a cool subject, though. I am going to be doing another video on that. that I've been thinking about, and I really want to do. So there will be a part 2. If you notice, it did say part 1. And I put part 1 on there because I didn't know how it was going to go over. I didn't know how people were going to like it. So there will be a part 2 on the soul ties thing. So we will be talking about that a lot more. But yeah, almost, I mean, a lot of people over here have connected with their Filipina in a big way and have had that soul tie with their Filipinas over here too, which is a, you know, very interesting topic. Big Time 911 says, ever think of starting an American Legion post? No. I got too many things on my hands already to even think about doing that. Tony Curley says, hello from North Carolina. Thanks for all you do. Be there in June for a month. Let's see. Sinful says, Edward Pierenboom, can you get most prescriptions over the counter through Mercury Drug and Watson Drug? Lynn says, happy Patty's Day. What's new here? Nothing much, Lynn. Edward Onde says, and Jung watching here from South Korea. Joshua Subtle says, what happens to a veteran's body if he dies over there? Well, it's not treated any different than any other person's body over here, pretty much. We had a veteran die here, and it wasn't treated as good as it should have been. Even though I told them it was a veteran's body, they don't care. Once the body's in a funeral home, they really don't care. Unfortunately, you can get buried over here though as a veteran, if you do want to do that. But as far as if you die here, it's not treated any different by the embassy or anything like that. So, Charles Merrill, enjoyed the video of the walk about Luciano. Keep walking, Steve. We will. We're going to be doing some more of those. I'm not sure when. I like to do those, but it's about time. You know, it's about having the time to do those and get out and do the walk. Did someone say that Wells Fargo has a branch there? Yes. Sinful says 51 watches and only 17 thumbs up. Tap it, please. 59 so far, 25 now. That's the Pennsylvania Trucker says I gave thumbs up. Scott Ferris, Sinful, my brother gifted me a few resorts. I was thinking about $25 per day with extra. That's cutting it a little close. I think you need more than that. I spend that on dinners sometimes. It depends on if you're going to be living with somebody or have somebody with you, or you're going to be staying at people's houses and stuff like that too. Simple, Scott Ferris, that is reasonable. Gifted me a few reasons I was thinking about. Let's see. Sun Moon, I pay 1,600 pesos a month for medication. I was paying 400 a month in the U.S. That's a big difference. Simple says, I certainly have experienced soul tie with my current wife of 16 plus years. Did not realize that until Steve showed me the video. That's interesting because a lot of people have wrote to me and told me that. Both, you know, Sinfuls has told me that, and Thomas told me that, and a lot of other people have also told me that they definitely had a soul tie with their Filipino over here, and that's fantastic if you have that. And I've had that too, and you know, I mean, you go through changes in your relationship. Sometimes soul ties end, and sometimes they go forever, you know. But when you have that soul tie, it's kind of an incredible thing. And sometimes it can be like love at first sight. That can be a soul tie too. Razzie Cat says, Steve, a friend who's traveled Asia many times, highly recommended bringing a script of ciprofloxacin. I'm actually allergic to that. I actually have bad side effects. It makes me hallucinate and other things. Charles Merrill says, Sinfuls, thanks. Coffee's all around. Robert Mindanao here. Where are you today? Okay, I think that's what it says. It's got like a spelling error in there. Billy's LZR says, hey buddy, Pennsylvania Trucker, congratulations at Charles Merrill with your retirement. And Billy Laser, love the content. Thanks, Billy. We definitely are going to do some change up in the content a little bit more. It's stuff that's still going to be covering expats stuff, but we're going to cover more deeper topics. And I think people are starting to like the deep topic stuff because we really go down the rabbit hole with them. You know, let's see. Razzie Cat says it's an antibiotic that covers a broad range. Yes, it's actually used for hardcore stuff too. The Cipro. Sinful says, Razzie Cat, you can get Zithromax easily here also. Charles Merrow, thank you, Pennsylvania Trucker. Remy B says, do you have a video about ornament? ornament. I'm not sure what ointment maybe. I'm not sure what exactly you're talking about, Remy. Maybe if you put that through a little bit, put it through, just reword it. Razzie Cat, I was speaking of ciprofloxacin, which was highly recommended that I have a brain. Michael Lee, good evening, Steve and chat. Really enjoying the stuff you've been putting out lately. Good work. I'm planning on visiting sometimes this year for the first time. Any places to recommend? Michael. A lot of people go to Palawan and places like that, but a lot of people have been throwing out Mindoro lately. Palawan's good too. All the islands around here have something really beautiful to offer, but Luzon also has a lot of stuff to offer. If you're looking for historical sites and stuff like that up north, there's a lot of them. Even around here, there's some. Sinful says, Michael Lee, I would recommend seeing Palawan area if you're able. See, beautiful place, astounding. Mark Bruno says, go deep. I think it's kind of fun going down the rabbit hole on a lot of subjects here, and showing how a lot of the things that people talk about do matter over here too. Like the soul ties, because a lot of guys are dating again. This is their new place. So soul ties really make a difference here. Edward Perrenboom, thanks for the info. Going to vacation first before retirement. We'll check it out. Sun Moon says, my cardiologist told me men over 60 shouldn't take Cipro because it erodes the aorta. Yeah, and sometimes people have allergies. If you have allergies like I do, it can do some brain damage to you or something like that. My doctor said that if you have that, he says that's really good that you got off as fast as you did, because I was planning on taking like a couple more pills. I didn't, I was like, I felt I was losing my mind. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was me at first, and then I realized it was the medicine, but I couldn't even think straight. So I was lucky I stopped it when I did. Then I realized at some point I came to my senses and I says, I'm going to stop taking this medicine. Tom and Jerry in the Philippines, I can get all my heart medications here in Mindanao at Mercury Drug. Lisinopril, difficult to get depending on milligrams. I take 2.5, but only can get 5 and have to cut it in half. Well, it's usually cheaper to buy the bigger one. I think that saves you a little bit of money too, probably, Tom. Mike married to a beautiful woman. There's a guy with a soul tie. Good evening from Ottawa, Canada. Welcome, Mike. Wade, hear any country music over there? Like dancing, like line dancing, seeing any cowboys? No, we don't see too much of that around over here. Tom Pear, this is our local cowboy. Look at that hat on him. I like the soul subject. PI women spoil you and you lose all interest in Western carriage. Yes. I think that's why a lot of guys come over here and they fall in love with the Filipinas, because a lot of the ones, if you meet a really decent one, you connect with them really easy, for sure. Some of them you don't. They have different types of Filipinas over here. I mean, my girl, she's a little bit on the tougher side, but she's a good-hearted woman. We're not without our issues, just like nobody else is, But I mean, we get along. James Gilbert says, my dog bit me, so I have to do the rabies vaccination. It cost me $2,000 the first shot, 2 more to go. See, Michael Lee says, thanks, Sinful. That's what most have told me, so it's at the top of my list. Sinful says, Michael Lee, yes, it should. Tom and Jerry says, at Tom Pearl, LMAO, laughing my ass off. Michael Lee says, thanks, Steve. I'll look into Luzon. Michael, look into Palawan too, though. I mean, Luzon has a lot to offer up north. In the south it does too, in Batangas and a few other places. So, look around. Look up places. Look at the 100 Islands and stuff up north. Mike, married to a beautiful woman, says Dumaguete makes a great base. You can go to Bohol, Siquijor, Cebu, and Negros Occidental too. Frank says, hi Steve, what's the topic tonight? Finally home early on a Saturday to catch a live stream. Well, tonight's topic on my regular vlog was, we were talking about the fact that we were in the newspaper, and let's see, the reporter did an article on us, which is kind of cool. It was in the Singapore Straits Times. Razzie Cat says, LOL, they have a brain, was about to spell check error, sorry about that. Joshua Subtle says, is there an exit plan for expats if China decides to go to war with the Philippines? I'm not sure. I don't think that they would go after the Philippines right away. I think they would just go all out on Taiwan. I think that they would probably start hitting some of the bases, probably, or something like that. That's about it. But I don't think they would do an invasion here. I don't think that would happen here. If they did, I think that would be really stupid on their part. But who knows what China's thinking? You know, I would say I'm sure the U.S. has a plan to get people out of here if they need to. Faye Peter Ellison says Palawan is so exciting. Ha ha ha. How about look at Bohol or Puerto Galera and Mindoro? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mindoro's a good place to go. For Android 101, what is Cipro? Hello, everyone. Antibiotic. Remy B, sorry for spelling. I wonder if you have a video about annulment of marriage. We've talked about that, but we haven't done a really big thing about it. It costs about $4,000. You know, that's about the average price. Some people say they can get them for as little as $3, but the average price is about $4. Gary Gibson says, hey, and you can get it done in 6 months, I think, at the least. Gary Gibson says, hey, Steve, I've been busy packing my Balik Mayan boxes and getting my car ready to sell. I'll be all set to apply for my SRRV on April 22nd. See you soon. No problem, man. Let's see. James Wright. Hello, hello. 2 thumbs up. Working, just saying hi. Best channel on YouTube for content. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. We got Justin on board. Justin in Arkansas. Usually it's Justin in the Philippines. And he says, hi, Steve. We miss Justin here. He's usually sitting right over there watching the show, or sometimes he's sitting out here and we're chit-chatting on the usual nights. Sinful says, Joshua, settle not for me. My home is here. My family is here. My dog is here. It's life. I think if China does attack here, I don't see any point in going back to the States the way they are right now. I mean, you know, my life is here too. I kind of feel the same way that Sinfuls feels. Faye Peter Allison says, I mean, Palawan is expensive. Yes, it is. Razzie Cat says, the Cipro was recommended as a last resort should you get food poisoning. But yeah, it should not be taken unless an emergency. Exactly, you know. Sinful says, Gary Gibson, great to hear. Michael Lee says, Mike married. I have here in Bohol for sure is great place. So many options and just taking a poll. I will have only maybe 2 weeks to spend before back to work. Yeah, so you don't want to, I mean, you probably don't want to go too far from Manila then, because you only got 2 weeks, unless you just want to do some quick trips or something. And Mindoro is one of the closest. So that's a good thing. It's not that far from Manila. Okay, you can get there really quick. Micah Marishu, hello, Steven. How you doing, Micah Marishu? Gary Gibson's at Sinful, thanks. Lynn says, Michael Lee, Palawan, Coron, and Sagada. Let's see. Sinful says, Michael Lee, I am going to Palawan for 9 days in May to El Nido and Coron. And so we got 78 people, 40 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Joshua Subtle, Sinfuls, I have already fought in two wars. I don't think I would be able to handle another. I don't know how that would work out, though. I really don't think that China would come in here. I just don't think that it would be smart for them, intelligent for them to do it. They already own a lot of stuff in here anyway. I don't think that they would really want to piss off America that bad. That's just my opinion. Taiwan is going to piss off America bad enough. Sinful says, Joshua Subtle, understandable. Tom Pear, hit the thumbs up, folks. Thanks, Tom. RLV says, hey, Stephen J, you are a rock star. Thanks, man. I don't know about a rock star. I got to grow my hair a little bit longer. Michael Lee says, I think it's safe to say Palawan, it was the first place recommended to me 2 years ago, but I had other places I want to travel first. Edward Perrenboom says, hi, Steve, any word on the oil spill? Did it affect Palawan? I think it did. I'm not sure where it affected, but it affected a few places. I did read an article, but I forget the exact places. I think part of it even reached up to Mindoro a little bit, but I'm not sure where the oil hit. It did spread around quite a lot, but if I recall correctly, I do think that some of it hit like around Mindoro and a few other of the islands, because it had to get through all those islands. There was a lot of oil that got spilled. So Glenn Hartwick, 10 days in Naval Billaran, and love it so much. Sinful says, Edward Perrenboom, yes, the spill has came here, came to there in Tai. Michael Lee will go to Italy in April, Spain for Cern Furman in July, and I guess Palawan. Michael Lee, nice Sinfuls. Have fun, brother. Sinful says, thanks. Let's see. My third time going there. Charles Merrill, Steve, can we donate to the orphanage in Tracy um, via Gcash? I don't have Gcash, Charles. Um, you can contact me if you really want to. I can get you a receipt for it, and I'll donate it directly to them. Contact me at Steven5975 at yahoo.com if you do want to donate to the orphanage. We actually have some people that do it already. They do it through PayPal, and it's PayPal is Steven5975 at yahoo.com. Okay, so you can do it that way if you want to. All right, or you can just email me, and but yeah, I don't have Gcash over here. Bradley Green says, Brad from Tagig says hello. How you doing, Brad? Lynn says, what's your question at Remy B about annulment? I am newly annulled, cost me 2p, so probably 2,000. The prices I'm hearing from the attorneys around here, they want 2 to 3,000. But maybe you can go cheaper if you can. More power to you, obviously. Michael, Android 101, ciprofloxacin, and antibiotic of the fluoroquinolone class. Charles Morales says, hey, Brad. Lynn says, P 375,000. Okay, that's more like it. It's a lot. Uncle Charles in the Philippines says, hi, Steve. How you doing, Uncle Charles? Sinful says, Lynn says, I read 2P, then the other number. Okay. Lynn says, LOL, Sinful's typo. Yeah, 375,000. Big difference, you know. Mike married to a beautiful woman. Bahola's amazing. The trikes are tuk-tuks. There is diving too. We rented the small motel and the price was cheap. Let's see. It says good something amazing because it cuts off you guys. Some of you guys at the end for some reason. I'm not sure why. For Android 101, Ciproflex and Keflex. That's what they gave me for the UTI in the Philippines. Didn't know I needed to be careful. But what else can you do when that's what works? Well, that's true. You know, you might not have an allergy to it. I had an allergy or some sort of reaction to it, so I cannot take ciprofloxacin at all unless it was an emergency. You know, Dickie Spaz says, unfortunately, the state of affairs in the USA is in the crap and no end in sight. No, there isn't, unfortunately, and it's getting worse. Let's see. Carlos Rabasa says, hello, Steve, congratulations. I seen your article today. Keep up the good work. Jack Wolfinger, aloha, Steve, retired military vet, living in the PI for a little over a year. Getting married in Cebu City Monday, moving to Dumaguete in April. Love my life. Sinful says, Dickie Spaz, agree. Sinful says, at Jack Wolfinger, nice. Andrew Camchi says, hello from Savannah, Georgia. How you doing, Andrew? Welcome aboard, man. And Sinful's got up the Steven5975 at yahoo.com. So if you guys ever need to contact me, you can contact me on there. That's also the PayPal. If you do want to make a donation to the orphanage here, I'll send you a picture of the receipt within 2 to 3 weeks. I always send it before the end of the month because I always bring in the donations. So, you know, that's the way I work. I don't always have time to get down there sometimes. So I don't bring it in right away. But you do get a receipt. If you don't get a receipt, remind me. I'll get one to you. Okay? So, Charles Merrill says, got it. Thanks, Steve. Michael Lee, that's a great question, Charles Merrill. I would like to donate a little if possible. We actually donate, you know, probably anywhere between $350 to $550, depending. I mean, when I include everybody that goes down there and stuff like that, it's somewhere in that range. I donate some money myself. I donate food, water, things like that. Sometimes we, you know, if you tell me you want it to go in the form of food or something like that, we can do that. If you want me to give it cash to them, we will give it cash. We exchange it over to Philippine currency and we hand it over to them. Okay? So Charles Merrill, Michael Lee, all dollars goes a bit further. Thanks, brother. Sinful says, yes, Bahola's nice, chocolate hills, and nice beaches. Glenn Hartwick says, I'm getting married on April 29th to my Filipino woman. There we go. Let's see. Michael Lee says, Charles Merrill, yes, it does, man. It's good thing though. Let's see. Sinful says, at Glenn Hartwick, congrats. Jen Wolfinger says, Glenn Hartwick, best of luck. Gordon Kistler says, I have $5,000 $1,200 monthly in VA and SSA pension, and I want to move to PI. I'm 66 and widower past 2 years. Any info you can give me would be great. Gordon, if you contact me or I would say just watch my older videos to get you started. And if you need to contact me, just go look. We just posted the email for me, and you can email me and ask me for my number if you want to talk for a few minutes or whatever. I can talk to you. You can call me on a weeknight, which is morning over there. Okay, but you just give me a yell if you need help. Email me, and I'll be glad to talk to you. Charles Morrell, congrats at Glen Hartwick. Mike, married to a beautiful woman, says, Jack, are you going to live in Dumaguete? I have a house in Manju Yard, the White Sandbar. Let's see. Michael L. says, Keflex and Cipro are two entirely different antibiotics. One is a cephalosporin, and the other is a fluoroquinolin. They work completely different. Sinful says, Gordon Kissler, try to go back and watch Steve's older videos. Lots of good info. If you go back to my older videos, let me just say this. I think there's a lot of little nuggets in my older videos because there was a lot of stuff I was trying to spoon feed people back then, and I still do. Sometimes I have to go back and get reminded of some of the nuggets that I was giving out because I forget. It's 5 years. 5 years out. I've been talking to people about this stuff for 5 years now, but some of those videos, like about 3 years old or something like that, and some of those videos were done a while back, quite a long time ago. But there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. Let's see, we're almost at the end here, so if you guys want to keep it going here, we got to get some more stuff going on here. There's 86 people on here, 56 thumbs up, guys. But I want to say this here for he's talking about Andrew Country. I felt for you dealing with your skin issues. I got infected with scabies, and it set off a whole sequence of infections. Yes, it does. Issues and meds, and they put me on a potential MRSA situation. Don't scratch. Yes, definitely don't scratch. Gary Gibson says, I got food poisoning at Shakey's Pizza Manila last year. I got it at Burger King. VA had given me a zithromycin antibiotic in advance of my trip last year, and that fixed me up real good. I have colloidal silver, and I take that whenever I get sick, and believe it or not, that works pretty good. You can get a bottle of it over here. You can order it from Lazada. Just don't drink it all the time. Just take it as needed only. Jack Wolfganger, at Mike, married to a beautiful woman, yes. Actually, I will live in Sibulon, going there on March 28th for a week to sign rental, and then officially moving in on April 13th. Quite a life than Cebu City. Congrats there, Jack. That sounds like a good life there, man. Let's see, 4 Android 101 says, avoid annulment, fly to Hong Kong or Bangkok, get a legally recognized marriage, return to the Philippines on Balikbayan visa, have a big ceremony in the barangay, everyone is happy. Let's see. Glenn Hartwick says, found a brand new fully furnished apartment in Bilaran for $200 a month. That's not a bad price for a furnished apartment. There's cheaper ones over here, but that's not a bad price. It's not a bad price at all. Michael Legas says, hi Steve, landing in Manila April 11th. I messaged you on Messenger. Okay, I'll check it out. If I didn't answer you, because I talk to a lot of people, just send me another message, Michael. Okay? And I'll try to get back to you. Jack Wolfanger, married to a beautiful woman. Wife is so excited about the slower life in Dumaguete, i.e. Boulevard, Valencia, Sunday Market. Sinful says, Michael Leguest, good to hear. Let's see. Joshua Settle says, I have noticed a lot of worn down basketball courts. Is there a way to donate to get them fixed, i.e. freshly painted, so the kids have a nice place to play and get together? I'm sure you can at your local barangay. Most of those are in barangay halls, I'm betting. You can go down to the local barangay and tell them that you like to fix it, and you could probably get some sort of paint to fix that. Talk to your local paint store or whatever, and see what you can do, and offer some people to paint it or something like that, and see what, the paint stores will probably know some painters that can paint it. But yeah, definitely work. Kids love playing basketball here. Sinful says, at Joshua Settle, sure, you could buy the paint and get the locals to certainly help you doing that. Definitely. For Android 101, you guys also should consider the vaccine for shingles. It's terrifying to get, I hear. Yes, shingles is very bad. Charles Merrill says that Joshua said that's a great idea. Sinful says for Android 101, I actually need to do that. James Christian, hello from Georgia. We always hear planes in the background of your videos. Your house must be in the flight path for the plane landing in Ninoy Aquino International Airport. I don't think you're hearing the noise. I think you're hearing the air conditioners over here, but maybe you hear this every once in a while. There is a plane that flies pretty close here. About every 15 minutes, it seems like there's a plane that flies over down back here, but we don't really hear them that much. I think you guys are hearing some of the cars off in the distance, or you could be hearing the air conditioners flick on and off. There's also cicada bugs around here that make a ton of noise on some of my videos, and almost a couple of them I've had to redo because of the cicada noises. John here says, I have to spend a few weeks in Naga City. Any expats from there? Things to do? There are expats down there, but I don't know that many from that area. I have not gone to that area yet. So, let's see. Angbek Lang Foreigner. Hi, Steve. I'm visiting Tracy Materas in June. Is it safe there? Yes. I might be staying at the Airbnb near SM Tracy's. Okay, so you're probably staying at Hope Residences, probably at the condos there, I'm guessing, because that's those places are nice, and you're right next to Tracy, SM Tracy. If you need anything or anything you want to hook up and meet, I can meet you over there at Starbucks over there or something if you want. Just let me know. Wade says did they get that SIM card registration figured out yet? Yes. Are they making you get a new SIM card every 30 days? I'm not sure how that's working out for the expat tourist here. I think every 30 days you probably have to go in and maybe it tells you or sends you something. I'm not really sure yet. I'm sure it's working its way out. I haven't heard any complaints from the guys that are on the tourist visas here yet, so it must be pretty easy to do. Brian Doobie says, I have a 2-year OFT girlfriend in the Philippines. I plan to better in about June, as I have to have surgery. Okay, your spelling's terrible on here, man. You know. Okay. Let's see. We got some more people writing on here because we're dead at the end here. 89 people, 60 thumbs up. Here we go. Simple says my phone is registered in my wife's name, so no issues for the SIM card. If you guys are gonna do something, register it in your girlfriend's name. It's much better. Everybody's doing it. I registered it in my name because I had the SRRV, so there's no issues there, you know, which is good. And I'm thankful that, you know, I'm able to do that. We just sent them in pictures and stuff like that. For Android 101, more thumbs up, guys. Let's see, we got 95 people, 63 thumbs up. Peter Chapman says, I registered my phone on tourist visa with no problems at all. I'm working on a 13A visa. The problem is whether you can keep it, though. You have to, you know, some people, then kicking people off if you're, the whole thing about the thing is so that it won't keep on going after you leave the country or something like that. So for tourist visas, they don't want it working forever, I guess. I'm not sure what's going on. It's kind of funky the way things go here, but maybe they're letting people do long, like I think it's like 6 months at a time, and then they knock you off if you're on a tourist visa unless you go back on there and re-up your thing. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but I haven't heard any complaints yet from anybody. David Hess says, hi Steve, how you doing, David? Ricky Renzo says, hi Steve, tomorrow is your birthday. The 20th is my birthday. What's today? I'm not even sure what day it is. No, day after tomorrow. Let's see. Lynn says, for Android 101 as Filipina, it wouldn't work that way, sir. Sorry, in the case of annulment, it is not complicated. It will only take 2 years, same as mine. Divorce is only applicable to Muslims. Yes. But some people are getting it done in 6 months or 9 months. It depends on what place you go through and stuff like that. So it is faster in some areas than others. In Manila, I heard it's fast if you get the right attorney and everything. Sinful says, I am working on my 13A also. Gary Gibson says, I have heard you can buy a postpaid monthly plan to avoid the monthly SIM card every month. Yes, you can do that. Okay, I'm not sure if that changes things, though, as far as they may ask you if you're expat or something like that. I'm not sure how that works. I'd have to look into that more because I was actually thinking about doing that myself, but I'm not totally sure I want to do that yet because it's actually cheaper doing it my way. Tom and Jerry in the Philippines. If I have my T-Mobile account with Magenta plan and no Philippines phone number, do I still have to register? The T-Mobile account you don't have to register. That's you don't. So if you got no Philippine phone number, you don't even have to worry about it. Just have your and if you do get a phone, get it through your girlfriend's name. Jack Wolfanger, I've also registered mine on a tourist visa with no problem. Switched to postpaid plan at Globe Store and registered for a year automatically. Says intact as long as I pay for my plan. Well, that's cool. So there you go. There's the answer. If you go to the postpaid plan, then you'll be all set for a year automatically. Sinful, as long as you pay. Sinful says Gary Gibson, I have postpaid, which helps, but again in my wife's name. So that makes a substantial difference having your wife or girlfriend's name. Lynn says, meaning if needed, you can fly to Hong Kong or BKK and get a divorce for $8 in about 30 minutes. $8. That sounds like a deal. Dickie Spaz, no Tom. Ang Baklang Foreigner says, Steve, how far are you from Tagaytay? I'm very close. I'm about 40 minutes away. How long is the commute from Tracy? About 40 minutes. About 40 minutes. And at night, you could probably do it in about 30. Joshua Settle says, if you do a visa run to Singapore, do you have to have a return flight to Singapore to return to the Philippines? If you do a visa run to, let me read this again. If you do a visa run to Singapore, do you have to have a return flight to Singapore? I would imagine yes, because you have to have the throwaway ticket. So yes, probably. Some people take the chance, but I wouldn't take the chance, on not having that ticket, because it's up to the airlines. But it could be that it could be a day when the BI asks you or something customs asks you. I don't know. You never know. You never know here. You really don't. I've heard some people, they made them go buy a ticket, and other times they don't. So there's people that get away. We had a guy on the street here. He did it, and he took the chance and he did it. So he made it through. For Android 101, but you must not have been married in the Philippines. Okay. Michael L says, at Tom and Jerry, only local Philippine mobile TN has to be registered. Yes. Big Times 911, best app to transfer money. For me, it's always been Western Union, if you have the US app. Okay? Because Western Union really has pulled through for me. I transfer it bank to bank. It's 99 pesos, and a lot of times they give me free ones, and they do it sometimes, instead of taking 3 to 4 days like it says, they usually do it in a few hours or what have you. So it's usually pretty fast. Renee Jimenez says, I can't make it to your surprise birthday party. Oh, thanks, Renee. You just took away the surprise. Let's see, Lloyd White, happy birthday. Thank you, man. It'll be the big 6-0 this time. So, Charles Merrills at Big Time 911 World Remitly. World Remit and Remitly are okay. Remitly actually shut me down though. So, and they haven't let me back on yet. And I'm not sure what the reason was. I tried contacting them, trying to get back on. They said funky things were happening and stuff like that. I'm like, what funky things? I'm just trying to transfer some money. But they just shut me down. And then I went back to Western Union, which I had problems with, but they turned me back on. Never had a problem since. Because I filled out some sort of thing on them. They sent me like one of those polls or whatever, asking you all kinds of questions. Sinfuls, if you have a bank that rebates your ATM fees, then just taking out of the ATM works well for me. Yes, my credit union rebates all my my ATM fees, which are cheap over here. Mark Forsyth says, we just added 2 attorneys and both are $1,000 to register a divorce from overseas. If originally married in the Philippines, so the new husband can get extended visas. See, Joshua Settle says, where is the cheapest place to do a visa run? Probably Singapore, Josh. Singapore is pretty cheap. You can get some tickets at $69 if you shop around on occasion. 69, 79 bucks, somewhere around there. Tom and Jerry Philippines, so much for surprise. Sun Moon says, happy birthday, Steve. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, man. Lynn says, Steve, what's your birthday wish? I think I got my birthday wishes, to be honest with you. I don't really have any wishes. I mean, I'm living the dream here. I really am. I really have a good life over here, Lynn, and I'm happy with it over here. And that's one thing a lot of people don't have. And I've kind of built my life around me, and I'm happy with that life that I have now. So, Mike Akulian says, two questions. Do I need to bring anything from the States? And how hard is it to get the SRRV visa? What are the biggest obstacles? You forgot something. The biggest obstacles for the SRRV, probably getting the apostles in the States, but even that's not hard, in the police report. But, you have to get those apostilled. You can get them done by your state secretary's office. It's actually easier than people think. When people think apostle, they start thinking, oh, what is this? I've never heard of this before. It sounds like very complicated. You can get it through your state secretary in your state capital. And you can also get some of them through, for federal documents, you can get done through the State Department. Okay, but you really don't have, most of them the states will do. You don't even have to go through the State Department, so don't worry about it. Try going through your state first. Okay, and what do I need to bring anything from the States? Well, it depends. If you're doing the SRRV, there's a whole list of things you have to bring. So sounds like you need to get in touch with me to talk to Mary Rose, Mike. If you're going to do the SRRV, you can contact me and ask me for my phone number on Steven5975@yahoo.com. I'll hook you up with all that stuff. We do it for free. And the girl that does it, she don't charge. She gets paid by the PRA, so it comes out of your application fee to the PRA. She'll help you totally 100%. I'll hook you up too with all the knowledge that you need and anything that you need help with. We that's what we do here. All week long I answer the phones from like 6 to 9:30 at night. So just ask me for my phone number and I'll send it to you. Okay, so we got 93 and 74 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Sinful says, Joshua Settle, I have an answer for that, but I will hold it. LOL. BJ says, hello, Steve. Good evening and happy birthday in advance. Thank you, BJ. Charles Merrill says, have a restful birthday, Steve. Thank you, man. Peter Chapman says, when I registered my SIM card, I didn't use my Torres visa. I used my barangay ID card. I haven't had to reapply every 30 days. Okay, let's see. I registered my SIM card. I didn't use my Torres visa. I used my barangay ID. Okay, that's interesting. Huh, I've never heard that before. Peter Chapman says, tourist visa cards. Let's see. Sinful says, Steven5975@yahoo.com. So if you guys need to contact me, that's where you're going to get me at. You can just ask me for my phone number if you do need help. Peter Chapman says, the biggest thing with an SRRV, would you have to tie up $10,000 in the Philippine bank? It's cheaper than that, Peter, if you're a veteran, okay? It's $20,000 for some people, but it's $10,000 if you have a pension and you're not a veteran. So, and it does go back to you when you leave the country, or if you die, you can put it in your will, stuff like that. Engback Lang Foreigner says, Steve, did you ever watch the Tulfo brothers? They give free service and advice to foreigners. I have not. No, I have not. Sinful says, at Peter Chapman, if veteran, only $1,500. That's correct. Sinful is right on. It's only $1,500. It's a steal. That's the best deal in town. That's the one I did. Peter Chapman says, well, that's great, but I am not a veteran. No, I understand. But I am married to a Filipina, so 13 as a way for me. That might be, some people like doing that. Some people like doing the SRRV. And I probably the 13 is probably better for you because of the amount that you have to put down. But some people like doing the SRRV in case you go through a divorce. You can still stay here. The girlfriend cannot get you kicked out or anything. So just keep that in mind. Sinful says, maybe then ACR works for that in SIM registration. It's possible. I'm wondering about that, That'd be an interesting thing to find out, but there's not much written on all that stuff on the phone, Sinfuls. I've yet to find out any really hardcore information on that stuff yet. Micah Coolian says, are there any one-way flights from the United States to Clark that you know of? I'm sure there probably are. I'm not that familiar with Clark so much as I am the Manila airport, the Aquino airport up here. I'm not sure though, to be honest with that. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with the flights up in Clark. I'm more familiar with the ones up here to the airport here. and some of them do go direct. There aren't many, but there are some. For Android 101 at Sinfuls, many of us are not vets, and that 10,000 can generate $100 a month for me in dividend stocks I already own. That's a huge price long term. Yes, it is. I agree with you, 100%. But I mean, for some people to come here, it's worth that to come here. You know what I mean? But yes, it is a lot of money. Sinful says for Android 101 agreed. There you go. Have a nice day is the name of the person. The 10K SRRV deposit can also be used to buy a condo. Yes, it can. Okay, but you have to buy a $50,000 condo, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm not really up on the condo part section. I'm more on working on the SRRVs, but I know that they put a lien against it too. So it's not like they still don't have like they don't have a security deposit. Like it's not like they're taking the security off it. It goes onto your property. So just remember that. For Android 101, a man's got to do. That's right. Craig Jordan, the Philippine Info Channel. I am hoping that a common Asian travel visa will be available for us. That would be nice if we had something like that. A lot of people do travel back and forth between Thailand and places like that. It would be nice to have a common travel visa, something that would be for all of them. But I don't think that'll ever happen. It would be awesome though, you know, when you think about it. Sinful says, there you go. Have a nice day. Yes, that is correct. Micah Coolian says, aim high, Air Force, Persian Gulf War veteran. Let's see, Gary Gibson. When I apply for my SRRV, the PRA will have my passport for a while. Can I travel without my passport? You can travel throughout the country anywhere you want, okay? But you won't be able to travel to other countries. Okay, you got to wait here for 6 weeks. Okay, 4 to 6 weeks usually. Sinful says, that Gary Gibson, I wouldn't think so. Yes. No, Sinful, I don't know if he's talking about in country or out of the country. I think he's talking about in country. In country you can, Gary, but out of the country you cannot. You have to be here for 6 weeks, okay? So just keep that in mind. Joshua Subtle, I was told if you date a woman who was separated, not divorced, you can go to jail or be sued or extorted by the past husband. Is there any truth to that? You know, I talked to an attorney about this. This is what the attorney said. The attorney said that it rarely ever happens, number one. Number two, if the guy is dating somebody or living with somebody already, or living, and most of them are, or living with somebody, then you're probably not gonna get in any trouble because the guy has to be the one that files. So it's not really that big of a deal. I don't recommend it, but you know, around here, most of the older women are still married or whatever, and in most cases, not all, but quite a lot of them. But usually, she said the chances of something happening are almost nil, so it's not something you really have to worry about, you know. Big time 911 says, let's see, our international driver's license worth to get from AAA for use in the Philippines. I guess. I'm not sure how long those last for. I'm not really up on international driver's license because when I got the SRRV, I switched my license over to the Philippine license. My license here is good for 10 years. So it might be worth it, you know. Sure, I would get one if it's not going to cost you that much, and I think they're not that costly. Just go get one. It's not going to hurt you, you know. Charles Merrill, my pop says hi to all from Detroit. Let's see, Simple says, Joshua Subtle, try to get a CNOMAR, which is a certificate of no marriage. Yes, you can do that too. The CNOMAR is a thing that just basically says that they're basically free. But I wouldn't worry about that too much. There's so much that goes on around here, and they rarely ever go after any. And if a guy is, if a guy is mad at his wife and she just left or something like that, maybe yes. If she's still, it's only like a year or two and the guy hasn't had time to move on, maybe I'd be a little worried. But if it's been like 4 or 5 years, he's probably with somebody else or has been with like 2 or 3 people already. So it's not going to make that much of a difference. So just remember that. See, Clark has no direct flights. You have to fly through Korea, Taiwan, and Doha. Okay. Peter Chapman says, hands down, the best way to fly is Philippine Airlines from LA straight to Manila, 12.5 hours, or JFK is about the same time. Michael L says, message retracted. Sinful says, Peter Chapman, totally agree on using PAL. For Android 101, Sinfuls, are we the only animal avatars here? Okay, seems to be. Sinful says, for Android 101, LOL. Sinful says, big time 911, if you're staying here long term, will want a Philippine license. Yes, I think even the international might be only good for the regular license. I think is good for 90 days. The international might be good for longer, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not really up on the international licenses because I always help people go to the LTO and they don't trade. They show them their American license, then they usually get a license for 5 years. When you've been here 5 years like me, then you get the 10-year license as long as you have no interactions with the police or anything like that. Ang Beck Lang Foreigner says, Steve, what are the 3 things you like most about Tracy's? I'm thinking to transfer there from Manila. Tracy's the capital, I think. Yes, it is. The governor's building is near SM, Tracy. Yes, the governor's building is actually going to be gone pretty soon. They're moving it to another place. I don't know what they're going to do there after the governor moves. I think they're probably going to put a park there or something like that, which would make the city really, really beautiful. We already have Forest Park, and Forest Park is all fixed up. It's getting better and better, but they still have some things that they still need to work on down there a little bit. But yes, it is the 3 things I like about Tracy Martires is transportation. That's one of the things I like. The breezes. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm getting a cool breeze right now, and it's in the 70s. And it's not muggy. It's dry air most of the year. It's dry, cool air during the hot season here. So that makes a big difference. We do get some hot days here on occasion with some mugginess, but for the most part, right where I'm sitting, it's like sitting in Tagaytay. But I go downtown, it's hot and muggy sometimes. And I'm here, it's cool. So I'm not sure why it's cool right where we live here, but it is a great place here in this whole neighborhood, this whole side of town. So if you do move here, let me know and I can assist you. So, but if you want to come over to my place, I'll show you my place too. Miss Cavalier, that's my sister. She says, hi, Steve. Let's see, it's my sister Colleen. Lynn says, Joshua, I agree with Steve. Charles Merrill, I got mine at Big Time 911, yes. Good for a year, then I get Philippine license. For Android 101 says, there are many docu-series here. The Philippines has adultery laws. Mostly these guys can be bought off, and it's horrifically unfair to Filipinas, but the risk is real, and I ain't feeling lucky. I mean, it's a thing where it's most likely to not happen, but could it happen? Yes, but if it's like 2 or 3 years the girl's been away from the guy, I wouldn't worry about it too much. And there you go, have a nice day. That's the person's name again. International driver's license are very simple to get. Even a family member can renew it for you. I lived in Korea for 6 years. My sister renewed it and sent it to me. Sinful says, at Big Time 911, foreigners who hold a valid driver's license issued by the road authority of their home country can drive here up in the Philippines for up to 90 days after their arrival. Correct. For Android 101, AAA also sells you an international permit good for 1 year. See, that's what I was wondering. I didn't know how long that was for, the international permits. If it's good for a year, then that's really good. But that can be changed by the laws of the country, too. So keep that in mind. So you want to make sure that you check on that with the local police or something. Charles Morrell, AAA, $20. Must have a valid license also on your person. Yes. Lynn says, I am driving without a license for almost 10 years. I only have fake license. That's not good. Let's see. There you go. Have a nice day. It says AAA is very easy to get the international driver's license. Charles Morales, Lynn's, and he's showing the laughing symbol. Kurt Schwartz, Mary Rose confirmed recently that if you are interested in the condo, the minimum investment is $50K. Yes, that is true. And they will put a restriction on the deed. Yes. And they can take that off after you pass away. Your wife can have it taken off, or whoever you leave it to. 30-day waiting period after visa approval. For Android 101, AAA was actually an awesome find for me When I return to USA, their discount on car insurance alone plus the cost of membership will cut 35% off. That's actually an excellent deal. Mr. Brister, hello from freezing Illinois. We got Joshua Subtle. Are there any other shuttles you can take from the airport or to hotels, or is it just Jeeps and motorbikes? No, you can get Grabs, you can get taxis, and they're fairly reasonable over here too. It's not that expensive to drive even across town in Manila in a taxi or a Grab. And it says, is there an app you need to get a ride share or Uber? Yes. It's not Uber, it's called Grab. Okay? Grab is the one you want to put on your phone, and you'd have to use a VPN for the Philippines to download the Philippine version of Grab. Okay? Craig Jordan says the family code of the Philippines is regulating law on personal relationships. So, Lynn says, Charles, I know, right? I made it successfully without any violation since face license I only have. So that's why they let me have the 10-year license, which I was kind of happy about. So I don't have to worry about my license for 10 more years, which is kind of cool. I'll be 70 years old. Let's see, Sinfuls, at Joshua Subtle. Most decent hotels will have a in-house transportation service you can arrange. Peter Chapman says, hold on, it just popped up. Let's see, Peter Chapman says, I'm in Silang, Cavite, 1 mile from the Tagaytay line, and the weather here is fantastic. Fresh aloha. Hi, buddy. Love your show. Quick question. I wrote a few books on respect. Occasionally I do lecture seminars here in the U.S. If there is an interest to do seminar over there, do I need a work permit? Yes. If you do the SRRV, you can work over here, though. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Sinful says, Peter Chapman, sounds like you live near where I did. I also was only one mile away from Tagaytay in Camella Homes. See, Buffalo Bob says, I will be arriving on the 28th to Negros Oriental, moving permanently, bringing my big dog too, getting excited. There you go, Buffalo. Lynn says, Steve, not fake, face license. Okay, I thought you said fake. I'm sorry. I thought it was just a spelling error. Okay. Sinful says, Buffalo Bob, great to hear. I brought my dog from USA also. Jimbo High says, all things considered, would it be better to get married in the U.S. or the Philippines? I don't really think it makes much of a difference, to be honest with you, either way. I'm not sure. I would say it doesn't matter. You know, as long as the person becomes a citizen, if you're talking about a girlfriend becoming a citizen or something like that, that really doesn't make a difference, I don't think. Let's see, for Android 101, AA sells travel insurance too, and you don't need to be a member to buy it. Dave Hansen, hello from Tampa, Florida. David Chapman, Sinfuls, I am at La Lan, second up the highway from you. Sinfuls, Peter Chapman, now I am in Laguna near Nuvali. Let's see. There you go. Have a nice day. Says Fresh Aloha. To even do volunteer work, you need a special visa, other than and visitor's visa. Let's see. Fresh Aloha. How's the car market there? Is it expensive? Yes, it's fairly expensive over here too. On some cars. Mark Schaefer at $50K should buy you a pretty nice condo, shouldn't it? Yes, you can get some nice condos over here for that price. Sinful says Fresh Aloha. I don't think so. I bought a 2020 Ranger that only had 400 kilometers on it for about $21K. So that's not bad. Let's see. For Android 101, Jimbo High depends if you ever want out. Sinfuls, Mark Schaefer. I have a nice condo available at Pasay with a beautiful view. Sinfuls, if you ever want to get that done, if you ever want me to do a video on that, let me know. Wade says, if you're scared to get caught with a separated woman, just take her to a different island. There's 7,000 of them. The tough thing about being with a separated woman is worrying about that. And like I said, if you talk to an attorney, they'll take most of those worries away. They really will, because it's not really as big a deal as they make it out to be. And if the guy's with another woman, then there's no worries at all, because they can't really go after you, because you can go after them too. The woman can go after them. For Android 101, I recommend people consider getting married. So if you must, in Hong Kong or Bangkok, the Philippines and the USA both have such draconian laws with the government sniffing around your underwear drawer. Okay. Yes. Sinfuls, yes. I think we need to do a condo video. Yes. Okay, Sinfuls. We can do that. Let me know. This week here I'll probably be busy, but the week after. But this week here I'm gonna try I wanna try to meet up with you sometime this week if possible. So we can do dinner or something like that. Not sure if I can do it or not though yet. I'm still up in the air because I have a couple of PRA stuff things going on and some other things. Plus we got the dinner this week too. There you go. Have a nice day. You can get a small new Toyota car for $12K US dollars. Yeah, any of you guys that are going to be near the Evia Mall this week, over near Alabang, at around 2 o'clock at Texas Roadhouse in the Evia Mall, we are having a get-together. But just try to let me know if you're coming so I can, book you in there because we only have a certain amount of reservations. So if you guys want to go there to the Texas Roadhouse at the Evia Mall, just let me know. Charles Merrill, take care all. And we are up to about 66 minutes, guys. My back is really killing me tonight, and I'm a little bit tired tonight. So I'm gonna end it here. But I want to thank you guys. And Renee Jimenez says tomorrow is the surprise party. Thanks, I appreciate that. Sinfuls, LOL. But thank you guys, and be sure to check out that the Singapore Straits article. That was, Strait Times article. That was really a good article about the group and also about some of the things that these countries offer. See, Michael, I will read a couple more here and then we'll sign off. Thanks for all the answers to my questions. It's been helpful. I'm glad it helped. And Michael Lee says, hey, Steve, I sent an email about the donation. Just whenever you get around to it, let me know. I know you are busy. No problem, Michael. I'll get to you soon, probably tomorrow sometime. Okay. Again, my PayPal is Steven5975 @yahoo.com. Michael. So that's the place you would send it, and I'll send you a receipt if you put your email in there. Okay. So let me know. And I'll send you a picture of the receipt, and it's from the orphanage itself. Okay. And Mother Teresa formed that orphanage, by the way, which is kind of interesting. But have a good night, guys. Thank you to Sinfuls for doing the moderating tonight. And we'll see you guys next week on here, okay? And see, Michael, let me just read one more. Michael Lee says, glad to chime in this time. And thanks, everyone, for the recommendations on the trip. And Kevin Hinton says, if you have a driver's license from the U.S. with a motorcycle endorsement, it is transferable, or do you have to go through the whole process to get motorcycle endorsement for the Philippine license? We actually had, somebody had it added on up here at the LTO before. And then another time we had a problem with it, but I'm not sure why. I don't recall I've gone up there so many times with so many different people with so many different things. I went there with a guy from the UK, and it's he actually had to take a driver's test there, and it took him the whole day because he was driving on the opposite side of the road. And if you come from a country that drives on the opposite side of the road, you have to go for the driver's test and all that stuff. But otherwise, it's just a 1 hour thing. Michael Lee says, gotta see, my PayPal is different email. Thanks, man. Steve, tomorrow, Sinfuls. Steve, tomorrow for condo. I don't think I can do it tomorrow, Sinfuls. I just got a bunch of stuff going on this week. But after next Friday, if you want to, anytime after next Friday, we can do it if you want to. I might have a day during the week too. Give me a call tomorrow. Because I got a lot of things going on this week. I know I have 2 appointments towards the end of the week. So we'll figure it out though, okay? But definitely not tomorrow, okay? But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care, and I will see you guys next week at around 9:30 p.m. God bless, guys. Take care.